Welcome everyone. First video, I'm gonna be talking about eating disorders, which that's the first question. What is ED? It's an eating disorder. So if you have any like triggers, anything you're still sensitive to, anything you're healing from, if you have like trigger words, trigger topics, do not listen to this because I'm not gonna be sensitive about what I say. I'm just gonna be real. Let's just start with like what eating disorders I had. It started with binge eating. And then I was like, wow, I'm gaining weight. I cannot eat like this. But I was like obsessed with eating. I would not eat for the entire day. And then I would sneak into the kitchen and I would eat every food available. And then it turned into bulimia. So I would binge eat and then I would vomit for as long as I could until nothing came up. It was really horrible. My face was really like bloated and puffy. But like looking at me, you wouldn't know that I had an eating disorder. My other eating disorder, I was very restrictive with my food. I became vegan. I was active for probably 6 to 8 hours of my day. Maybe eating anywhere from like 300 to 800 probably. I'm gonna answer some questions now. This person asked, was your eating disorder restrictive and how did you switch into eating more for working out? Just realizing that I needed food if I wanted to get stronger and feel like I had energy during the day. Just how important eating was. That's when I started viewing food as fuel instead of I'm gonna get fat if I eat. Someone said, did you ever deal with binging? I've lost 80 pounds, but I'm stuck at binging. I don't know what to do. I would say the most important thing to help you stop that is to make sure you're eating multiple meals a day, spaced out, waking up, having a satiating breakfast. The more you restrict yourself, the more you binge. Like I have a little coffee every single morning. Oat milk, so bad for you. The caramel syrup I put in it and the brown sugar I put in it, so bad for you. But it's my little treat every day. And it makes me happy and it keeps me from craving other things. What from your eating disorder journey still affects your day-to-day life? I always think about food more than I think the average person does. When I think about food, I'm like, okay, how many calories does this have? What are the macros? How much protein? How much sugar? How much carbs? Which I feel like I found healthy ways for my brain to cope with it, and I don't struggle with like wanting to fall back into eating disorder patterns. I just know I think about food more than like the average person, which is okay. I think if you're dealing with effects from your past eating disorder and your day-to-day life, just be gentle with yourself. Realize that food is fuel. It's not going to make you fat if you eat a meal. Your body needs food. Something that really helped me with that as well, I learned that if you don't feed your body enough food, your body will hold on to fat more than it normally does because your body thinks that it's starving. So it's gonna hold on to fat. So you're not gonna be able to lose weight or tone up as fast as you want if you're starving yourself. And I was like, damn, like I really have to eat. Don't cut out any food groups. You need all of them. So just remember that. I'm dripping sweat, so I gotta turn my car on. I'm sorry if the air is loud. Someone said, did you use eating disorder Tumblr? I hope I'm not the only one. I feel like eating disorder Tumblr was like more for like the girls that wanted to be skinny. Like, I always wanted to be a little like voluptuous, you know what I mean? And I was always like a stick, so I feel like I didn't use eating disorder Tumblr, but I definitely did Chloe Ting's ab workouts, and that did not help. I got ankle weights. I was doing butt workouts every single day. But I wouldn't say I was using eating disorder Tumblr, but don't worry, you're not the only one, because I know friends that were using it. Do the thoughts go away? Yes. The thoughts of eating disorder habits, they do go away. I would never, ever in a million years binge again. I would never make myself throw up again. I would never restrict my eating like that again. Obviously, like I said before, I think about food more than the average person, but also I'm only like 3 or 4 years healed, so obviously time heals, so it will get better. The thoughts of you shouldn't have eaten that, like you're so dumb. I don't think like that anymore. It goes away. How did your eating disorder manifest? I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of eating disorders are triggered from control issues, especially bulimia and binge eating disorder. I think the eating disorder made me feel something, especially with the throwing up and binging, like blacking out, not having to think about what was happening in the moment, and then throwing up was just another moment of like blacking out. And it's like an addicting feeling as well. It like made me feel high, I'm not kidding. Like throwing up was like a crazy feeling, not in a good way. That's why I would wake up and drink water and throw up and find any chance I could to throw up. So it manifested just because of life and what was happening and me not liking my body and just hyperfixating on it and making my eating disorder kind of a like coping mechanism for how I felt. How long did it take for you to recover? I was dealing with thoughts for like 7 years, and I've been out of it for, like I said, 3 to 4 years. So for me, I would say it took me about 2 years to like fully recover and fully feel how I feel in this moment right now. How did it start and how did you overcome it? Oh my god. My bulimia started one night. We went to this little ice cream place and I was eating it and I was like, I wish I wouldn't have had that ice cream because now I'm gonna be fat. And I was like, oh my god, if I don't want this ice cream to digest, I can just throw it up. So that's how my bulimia started, which that's not how it works. Your body needs nutrients, your body needs to digest food. That's not a good way to think. That's just what happened with me. And I didn't even realize that was an eating disorder. I thought I was goated. Guys, my leg is dripping sweat. I'm sitting in my hot ass car right now. I'm about to work out. I just wanted to film this before. No questions, but can't wait to watch this video as someone that's bad on eating disorder. Does your past eating disorder influence your current relationships, and if so, how do you navigate that? It doesn't, but I will say when I was in the thick of my eating disorder, I had no close friends. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I was so mean to my parents. I was mean to my grandma. I was mean to everyone that loved me and cared about me. I hated myself with like so much passion that it makes me really sad to think about, but I just hated everything about myself. I hated my life. I literally hated everything. Like, I was so unhappy. They just affect you mentally way more than you would ever realize, and it affects your body a lot too. I had like really purple veins on the side of my legs and my skin looked really unhealthy. How did you get back to having a normal feeling of hunger? I just like to eat, so I feel like I've always felt hungrier than the average person. Listening to those hunger cues instead of just eating as much as I can or restricting as much as I can was something that I started dealing with when I started lifting. Now that I eat morning, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, now that I eat like that, I don't really have as many hunger cues. I just keep myself satiated. I don't overeat to the point where I feel sick, but I don't undereat to the point where I like am so starving, because when I get to that point, I know I'm gonna eat the wrong foods. I'm gonna eat way too much. So just keeping myself satiated really helps with my hunger cues and listening to them. Is it triggering to see all these celebrities get skinny again? Because it is to me. Dude, I was thinking about it and I was like, damn, being a skinny queen would kind of be fire. So I started doing Pilates when I was in Arizona and I stopped going to the gym, and then I was like, this is just not me. I just want to have a fat ass. I want to have big muscles. Everything is in. Just because these celebrities are skinny does not mean you need to be skinny. Do whatever makes you feel good. Lifting makes me feel good. It makes me feel hot. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel so good. And Pilates and being a little skinny fairy girl doesn't. And guess what? I have besties that are skinny little fairy girls, and I love them for that, and it makes them feel good. Like, they would not feel good lifting like I do. I would not feel good being skinny queens like they do, you know? Everyone has their thing that makes them happy. Don't pay attention to the celebrities. Social media is not real, so just remember that. How did you overcome it? I don't want to eat more because my face gets so ugly. Don't say that. Okay, this is so important. If you're eating ultra processed food all the time, if you're having diet drinks all the time, if you're having really sugary stuff all the time, or maybe you're sensitive to dairy, like, those things can make you bloat in the face. It can make your face puffy. It's just inflammation. Maybe also try getting lymphatic drainage facials, which I do those. But look into them in your area because they're really good for depuffing. Like, get a food allergy test and see if you're allergic to food, because maybe that's what makes your face puffy. You need to eat. You need to have enough calories every single day for your body to function correctly. How did you go to counting macros in a healthier way and less obsessive way? Plan it out correctly. Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself like 2 weeks to adjust to it. If you go over a little bit, it's not that deep. If you're under a little bit, it's not that deep. Just be gentle with yourself. Give it time. Learn the ratios of like what food has this much protein, what food has this much fat. On a day-to-day basis, I mean, if you're not training for anything and you're just wanting to lose weight, focus on a calorie deficit and eating whole foods that are satiating and not ultra-processed foods. That's like so important. Watch a YouTube video. Learn about it. It's so important. They're ultra-processing everything and it makes me crazy if you can't tell. So just really focus on eating whole, fresh foods. How did you stop yourself from repeating the same eating habits? Realizing I cannot live like that. It's not a healthy way to live. I'm not mentally sane when I have an eating disorder. And just scaring myself into watching videos about people who have died from eating disorders really helped me. Also, talking to a therapist. I have gone to therapy for like 6 years of my life now, and it really helps a lot. So just being honest and open with someone that you can trust is also really important to not fall back into the old habits. Did you ever struggle with binge or just restrict? Both. Having the self-love and self-worth to tell yourself you deserve to eat healthy, you deserve to feel good, you deserve to eat food that makes you feel good is so worth it. So I think practice self-love and self-worth and realize you deserve to eat all these healthy foods that make you feel good. You deserve to feel happy about what you're eating, proud about yourself. The harder you are on yourself, the harder it's gonna be. Just be nice to yourself, you know? Because people are already mean enough and life is already challenging enough. So just make sure you're being nice to you, because that's what's important. And yeah, I'm gonna end off on that. Thanks for asking me questions. I hope this video is not too long. Much love. I hope to record another video soon because it's really fun. I love chatting to the camera. Okay, bye guys.